What's up, YouTube? What's up, Raider Nation? It's 510 Raider. And I'm sorry it took me so long to get this video out. I kind of needed a few days of listening to Raiders coverage and also to process everything that's been going on. And then, of course, we had election night. And with the bye week this weekend, I was like, I don't mind doing a reaction video later than my usual. But 5 days after a game will not happen again. But as we all know, Sunday night was a very busy day, as well as the next 48 hours after Sunday night were. As we all know, the Raiders fired offensive coordinator Luke Getsy. They fired quarterbacks coach Rich Scangarello and offensive line coach James Craig. Now, Luke Getsy was not a surprise to me. Last week I mentioned that I hope AP lets him live for one more game and then come bye week shows him the door. Now, even though I wanted him to live for one more game, that doesn't mean I wanted the game to go the way that it did. I never want us to get our ass kicked on any given Sunday. But even if we would have somehow pulled out a win last Sunday, I still would have wanted Getsy gone. But his firing does not surprise me at all. He had to go. Now, the other two surprised me. I know the offensive line coach came from the Niners, and yeah, even though they have a good offensive line, that coach also does the zone blocking scheme, which I don't believe fits our personnel on the offensive line. It also doesn't help that our offensive linemen keep dropping like flies with injuries, and now we are down to our 5 last offensive linemen. I think our personnel are more fit for the power scheme, so hopefully they can get back to that. We all know we don't have the best of quarterbacks in the quarterback room. And because of that, I was a little surprised by the firing of the quarterback coach. But hey, I guess AP wanted to really do an overhaul on the offense. I mean, damn. I don't think it could really get any worse. Knock on wood. But within 48 hours, the Raiders added Scott Turner as the interim offensive coordinator and play caller. He is the son of former Raiders and Chargers head coach Norv Turner. And go figure, they also added Norv Turner as a senior advisor on the coaching staff. And they also added Joe Philbin as interim offensive line coach. Now, I don't know too much about him personally, but listening to a Raiders insider, according to him, Joe Philbin is a well-respected offensive line coach, and he thinks the offensive line will improve dramatically. Now, with all the injuries, we shall see. Now, with our new interim offensive coordinator, he's been on the coaching staff, I believe, for the past 2 seasons. He was a former OC and play caller in Washington. Now, their offenses really weren't good at all. But at the same time, it's not like he had much to work with at the quarterback position. Now, if he's anything like his dad, Norv Turner, who had a good offense in San Diego with Phillip Rivers, I would have an idea of what to expect. Let's just hope that he adapts to the personnel that we have. Hopefully he does what Bo Hardegree did last season, and he goes up to the players and asks them, what do they like to run? Because we need to start using these players to their strengths. Because all season, this offense has put the defense in just horrible positions. What's crazy is, despite all of our defensive injuries and the offense putting them in those bad positions, our defense is ranked 12th out of 32. That's still respectable. That makes you think, if our defense was completely healthy and they didn't spend so much time on the field because our offense is so inept, it might be a top 10 defense. But hey, given the circumstances of not being able to stop the run, a league low in turnovers, I'll take it. Now, this past game, we had numerous players go out with injury, and they all seem to be ankle injuries. And sometimes ankle injuries can take some time. Who's to say what one weekend off will do? I just hope that for the remainder of the season, we don't have a performance like we had in Cincinnati. It was the worst performance under Antonio Pierce. It's actually the most points we've given up with him as head coach. 41 points. He wasn't happy, and you can tell by his comments in the post-game press conference. He was literally saying, changes on the offensive side of the ball are going to come because what's been going on the last 3+ games, the offense coughing the ball up on average of 2-3 times a game, it can't happen anymore. Just like the rest of y'all, I hope the team can salvage something for the rest of the season. Playoff hope should go out the damn door at 2-7, just saying. But hopefully the performance overall as a team can do good enough so that Tom Telesco will keep Antonio Pierce around. Because usually the way things go when you're hiring in the NFL, owner hires a GM, GM hires the coach, head coach hires his coaching staff. But last offseason, Antonio Pierce was hired first, then Tom Telesco was hired. We really don't know the type of relationship that our GM and head coach have. None of us do. They may both have two completely different visions for how they want the Raiders to look. Let's just hope that AP can make the most out of this team during the final 8 games of the season. Because shoot, we've all seen disappointing seasons. That's one reason why I don't get disappointed anymore. Now going into this season, I was expecting about the same record as last year, 8-9, hoping for maybe one more win given the talent. And then I said, being nice and sincere, if everything goes our way, if we stay healthy, all the above, maybe 10 wins, but that was stretching it. Was I expecting 5 straight losses and a 2-7 record at this point after 9 games? Hell no. Even watching the post-game press conference in the locker room with Max Crosby, he was not happy, he was pissed. In his words, losing 5 games in a row fucking sucks. For him, even though he's not accustomed to winning with the Raiders, you really got to think this is the longest losing streak that Max Crosby's ever dealt with. Before this past Sunday, the most he'd ever lost was 4 in a row. He's never lost 5 in a row. And players of his caliber, they hate losing more than they love winning. Let's just be glad he doesn't want to go anywhere and he wants to stick it out and turn it around here. With 8 games left, we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm not focused on off-season or the draft like a lot of people out there are. My focus is the final 8 games, and I always go 1 game at a time. But that's all I got for y'all this week. Appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope all of you have a great weekend. Till next time.